Hello and welcome everyone to Vampyr. We are back in the Pembroke hospital. We made our way here last time. We talked to quite a few people here, learned a little bit about them. We got a couple of side quests, but now, first and foremost, we have to analyze William Bishop's blood at the workbench to find out more about what exactly he was and what's going on here overall. So let's do that. To analyze, there. Blood sample of William Bishop. Analyze to view blueprints. Okay. Did it do anything? Guess maybe I have to leave.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Before we do that, I want to talk to the rest of the people here. We skipped a few just because the episode was already running a little bit long. And I didn't get to explore the Pembroke Hospital in its entirety. And it seems to be like, it's one of those games where it pays off to take your time, and I will try to do so, to not rush anything. Not now. Okay, Dr. Swansea is not available. With that pays off, and rushing wouldn't make sense. So I kind of want to take my time. Maybe the episodes will be a little bit longer, so we got plenty progress per episode. But I also don't want to just skip through some things just because we're short on time. One here. Small bottle. I think this leads to the backyard where we have a side quest. Enter the backyard garden, yeah. But I think we had like a couple of people here to talk to. Ah, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
So, you live in London? Oh, we have here. Okay. Tell me about your presence in William Bishop's den.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
Oh, interesting. So, you are a hero or a fool, that's for sure.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What about the situation in the East End docks?
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Okay. What about Tom Watts?
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Despair?
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Corruption.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Okay. Personal question. So what do you do for a living?
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Okay, are you a priest?
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why not use your cross against William?
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
We saw Swansea's cross having a pretty strong effect on us. Made any friends since you arrived?
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Okay. So, how are you feeling right now?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again
I think
later.
that's it for now with Mr. Hampton. Did we talk to this guy last time? Not sure.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Okay, let's see. We could mesmerize him. Let's just stay with us.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything?
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who's treating you?
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Okay. Can we ask him any personal questions? Okay. Did you serve for long?
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Fair enough. Yeah, do you have any insight on this Hawcroft's disease? I think that is the lady across here who thinks, she, at the very least, thinks that she's a vampire. We're not quite sure whether or not that's true.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. Her arm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Okay. So, did you let her bite you?
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Okay.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
He might actually be a candidate for us to embrace, you know? But there are still a few things that we can't ask him about, so I want to know more about him, but he might be a candidate for us to embrace.
The pain. It's here again.
Oh, she's gone now, though. Oh, is she there? Dharma Hallcroft, yeah. There's Milton. We had to talk to him.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
There. You are extorting money.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Can't stop him from it?
Goodbye, Milton.
Okay. Well, I think I kind of want to check out the backyard. We had our quest there. There was something shiny somewhere. Let me just quickly look at the map. Oop. We're here. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Citizen Quest. Enter the backyard garden. Is this the garden?
I cannot enter. Skal voices in the garden.
Uh-oh.
I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Should we investigate? There's our club. Oh boy. He got me there. Oh. How can I heal? There. Ah! The timing on that, I really have to get it down. Ooh boy, that was tough. Photography in a wallet. A photography of a smiling and loving couple with a few words written on the back. Milton and Pippa forever.
So,
Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item.
Interesting.
Those two have hidden their affections well.
So we heard that they work together on their little scam. We'll return soon. Just wanted to look around a little bit. But I don't want to stray too far away for now. Okay, that's interesting. So there we... I think I actually theorized that they may be a couple. There we have confirmation. Public notice, prevent influenza, Spanish. Cover each cough and sneeze with a handkerchief. Walk to work, do not spit, drink from your own cup, avoid crowds. If taken ill, go to bed and send for a doctor. To make a mask, take a piece of ordinary cheesecloth, 8 by 16 inches, folded to make 8 by 8 inches. Next, fold this to make it 8 by 4 inches. The cords about 10 inches long at each corner. Apply over mouth and nose as shown in the picture. Issued by LLC Board of Health. Let's talk to Milton. Bring him his wallet. We can talk to Pipper afterwards.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I found your wallet.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reid.
I understand. Difficult times. So, tell me about your relationship with Nurse Hawkins.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
What's going on?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
Bound by despair?
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Fair enough.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reid. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Well, with that not, but I do not like their extortion scam.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today, people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow, we may be fighting for food.
Milton. I don't know.
Goodbye, Milton.
I'm not a fan of that, but it seems like we can't really do much about it right now. Let's talk to Pippa.
Disgust on every street corner.
What's she doing?
The daily routine.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Anything new here? Yeah, tell me about your relationship with Milton Hooks.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Fair enough. You are Milton's accomplice.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Why did you do it?
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
Who's the real you?
How can you be affected by the misery around you and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reid. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
It's messy, because of course it is.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Guess we will get back to that at some point. Spellmon. Go check out this side.
It's locked, all right.
Sure, we can find something like lockpicks or so. There are so many locked things. Okay, I think we pretty thoroughly explored the area, so let's lay down and rest in bed until the next night. Something that I do want to check though is if I now can craft some the medicine serums. That regeneration serum, yeah, but don't have anything there. Bludgeon. Quiet. Need a common. Oh, can I upgrade the stake? No. Scythe. I'm missing the parts. Here with the recyclables. Okay, let's recycle these. Oh, I see. I'm not sure if this is the best use of these, but let's do it for now. Some recycling.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Oh no, we have another flower in a Don't Not game. That's a running gag from Life is Strange. But yeah, let's rest. Time to have a nap. Can we upgrade? We can. Let's see. Medical bag. Of bullets you can carry. Life generation when using bite in combat. Pretty good. More health. Huh. Tactical. Spring. You perform a supernatural move to your target and cause damage upon landing. Shadow Veil. Drain your stamina to fade into the shadows and become invisible to most enemies. Moving in this state will drain more stamina. You will exit the shadows if you attack or dodge, or when your stamina is empty. It's pretty cool. I'll upgrade that. Even close. I don't know. It's 1,000. What's your stamina? I don't know. How many options? Blood capacity could be nice. Let's go with a big thirst first. I think that's a good choice. Can't quite get that. But that confirms it.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals.
Okay.
But what about my thirst for blood?
Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reid. Hurry up!
Oh, okay. What's going on?
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Okay, there's nothing here.
Sorry, there's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
Okay.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Okay, I can do that. I want to take a look at the... Oops. Yeah, there's the pub, hospital. Did have another side quest somewhere for Milton, I think, but the merchant. Okay, let's go to the morgue. We talk to Swansea now.
Not now.
Not now. Let's see. So there's the main entrance, and we have to go to the back side. I'm just checking if I have any welcome guests here. Seem that way. Don't like that we have a loading screen here. Might mean that we run into some resistance. Alright. Not to mention that an old morgue is kind of creepy too. As you guys know, not a big Spooks fan. Especially not with these noises. No. Oh. There. Sometimes hard to see what kind of things I can pick up. Let's go upstairs. Oh. There's a skull there.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Yeah, this is not good. Okay, we have some here.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Oh no, I don't want to go into the basement. That's not good. I'm a little more used to the rhythm of the combat. Okay.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
That's good. Okay, I guess now I have to go downstairs? Go upstairs first. So I guess we get different blood samples that we then are able to analyze. Oh, that's not good. I saw you. Or not. I can open that one. That's where I leave, I guess. Okay. Sure, let's go to the basement. What could go wrong, right? Okay, we have multiple ones.
These skals.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Of animals.
I like that he calmly continues to
Not after
talk.
blood.
Oof. Round. Okay. Oh, I thought I can like stealth attack him. But I couldn't. Pressed the wrong button. Kinda wasted my blood attack. Used a listen knife. Blood absorb. You just acquired a new type of offhand weapon. Equip it and press triangle to absorb blood. Ooh. I like that. Okay. Let's try that out. Wait, did I check out the chest that was there?
It's locked.
Oh, why am I not? Death report. Local investigation. A new citizen investigation is available. Press up to open the local investigation menu. Citizen investigation are displayed here, categorized by district. You can start a new citizen quest by tracking it with square when access to your map. Okay. Okay, interesting. Show me here. Okay. Office of Pembroke Hospital Medical Examiner. Report of investigation. Decedent Samuel Connor. Race Caucasoid. Male 39. Patient fisherman. Type of death natural. Probably cause of death fast progressing pneumonia by virus-induced pulmonary consolidation. Spanish influenza. Examination attendees. Dr. Corcoran Tippett, Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Name and signature of medical examiner Dr. Corcoran Tippett. So
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report.
Yeah.
I'd better look into this.
Okay. We have to talk to Gwyneth and Tippett. Oh, there's a guy. Ooh. Oh, so that one doesn't stun, but it directly takes some blood. Interesting. Oh boy. Oh. Whoa. Oh, we have multiple ones. That's not good. I don't like it. Damn it. I also forgot how to. I know how to block. Ah, just with this. Okay. Ouch. Ooh. I need my other. Do I need my other? I don't think I can stun him, so. Ooh, what are you doing? I need the blood. To potentially heal myself. Ooh. Ooh. do. Let's switch back to the scythe. Oof. Got him. Oof.
These
that was
skals
tough.
can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
It is very tempting. Okay, before pick up the quest thing, let's look around first. I'm not sure if I like the side weapon that I use now. I think I prefer the stun and bite to consume blood. Oh, there's something. Oh, there's a... Okay. Pick that out in a second. Guess we go down again. Let's pick it up.
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Okay, I guess we'll leave again. Oh, there we have another one. I can't see him. I'm almost dead. Oh boy. I couldn't see him anymore. That was bad. Can I leave here? Yeah. Oof. That got very close, and the boss fight was pretty tough. I really had to get the rhythm down of his attacks to really counter him before he can attack me. But we also found out more about, or at least we found out about something that we should ask Nurse Gwyneth and Tippets about. A not matching port. Let's see. Let's talk to them first, then we go up and craft the thing. There they are.
Good evening, Dr. Tippets.
Dr. Reid, any good news to share?
Well, I'm not sure if it's good news. Okay, I guess I can't talk to him about it.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
Maybe I have to talk to... Where is she? There's Clay Cox. I might want to talk to him too. Unknown? Who are you? Okay. Milton.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Can I talk to her to praise you? Apparently not.
Goodbye, Nurse.
Do I
Call
have
me
to
if you
do
need
anything
assistance.
specific with it? Let's see again. Oh. Do I have to go back for that? Oh, okay. Didn't really get what I was supposed to track there, but let's do that. Oopsie. A little bit of an extra way back, but before I forget about it, let's just do that. I think it was because I couldn't examine the body before, and then I just thought, oh, I need to talk to them. But you do have to examine the body. Okay. As long as I'm not cornered on the staircase again with the camera messing with me, I should be fine. Not sure if new enemies will appear anyway. If they respawn or they're not. I have 1,000 XP, which means we can also level up soon. Appreciate. Definitely have to get stronger as we learn. Let's start at the corner of the lips.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps?
Let's look at the damaged legs and arms.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman.
Let's open the chest.
The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful.
Okay.
Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death.
I see.
And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Okay, let's hold him accountable for his mistakes. I mean, the issue obviously also is that all that is an egregious mistake, and we have to hold him accountable, and it's not right to just hide his mistake. Probably do need Tippett's anyway. But it might also be that he's just getting old, so that might be an issue. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but we had the conversation with Tippett and Brannigan where Tippett kind of mentioned that Brannigan would be a great doctor if she wouldn't be a woman. So if she could become a doctor. So maybe it's like one of those tales where she is actually doing his doctoring work after he made this mistake, and because he's getting old and forgetful or frail and isn't really up to snuff anymore, but in order for her to actually help the patients, he needs to kind of cover her, so that's why he's still around. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe I'm just thinking way too far ahead and thinking way too much into this. So, let's have a talk with Tippity Tippets. Tippets, there he is.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reid, any good news to share?
No.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Tell me about the nature of the mistake.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Why not stop practicing?
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed the body.
Well, I'm a big fan of that.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Okay, let's talk to Brannigan.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
There. Tippett's medical error.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett
Tell
did.
me!
I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reid. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant
that's the
practitioner
issue.
like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Yeah, I understand it. I mean, it's kind of... You don't really have a choice.
I can't say I approve of what
Yeah.
you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the rules.
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippett.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I won't reveal
I've
it.
decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
No
Dr.
more
Tippett
mess-ups,
must
though.
regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
I mean, you already know. Okay.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Ah, messy. Oh, play call.
Be in hospital. A pigsty would smell better.
What's going on here?
Good
Foxy.
evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reid. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
We didn't really get a chance to talk to him before.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. Still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
He almost died there.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
Did he want revenge?
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother.
Oh,
Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favour.
great. You're a monster.
You're a monster, Mr. Cox. An ungrateful and disgusting man.
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reid. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
Maybe I should have embraced him. Could cure his fatigue. I probably should do before I would embrace him.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated alright, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the staff?
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane.
Oh.
Pretty brunette, tough attitude, oh, I like that.
Oh, God.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reid. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
Just like
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
So he's a real piece of work. How long can you avoid the law?
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
Justice will find you.
The police may be slow, but they will find you eventually.
Well, how come you didn't turn me in then? Nah, Doc. I figure you have something to hide so you can't ask the coppers for help.
Pin failed? Badly. I lost a hint. Oh. So that is also what happened to Brannigan? Because I talked to him first. Oh no, for him I lost one, yeah. Makes sense. Interesting how that works. I really like that system.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Well, I guess it's time to craft a treatment for fatigue.
So many deaths. A lot of my own life.
I do also like the concept of us being an actual doctor and kind of having to fix people up, or at least having the option to fix people up. How's our other plant doing?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Okay. Crafting. You have now components to craft a medicine. Treatment for fatigue. I think it's this one, right? Yeah. Then an enigmatic formula. This formula written on a piece of paper seems complex and needs to be analyzed. Analyzed to view blueprints. Oh. That gave us more treatments, okay. Watery rich blood sample. Blood samples for vampires. Oh, okay. That's cool. I like it. So let's... Could I get another one? No, we would need sodium hypochlorite solution. I really like the idea of kind of doing some medicine. Can I now upgrade? Did I pick up no. Still need the common handle parts. Okay. Well, let's go down. Bring the medicine to Dorothy Crane in the patient's room. Did I check if I can go up here? I think just check that one. This is also locked. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I don't miss out on something big. Okay. They're all here.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Okay. Diseases decrease the blood quality of a citizen. Use the correct medicine to heal them. Speak to the patient in the room behind Dorothy to check the medical status.
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Press R1 to
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
Okay, now we can give him the
You are not
medicine.
a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Okay. I know. Yeah, can you now tell me more about your hospitalization?
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you?
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Interesting.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured, you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reid. It's my mother.
Okay. So, how painful is it now? Is it
How
better?
painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Okay.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Can I now talk to her?
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Maybe we helped him a little bit. Nothing new here.
Goodbye,
Okay.
Mrs. Goswick.
Okay, we have to talk to Swansea. Unknown? You haven't talked to him yet?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid? Yes, I've been informed about
Oh
your
yeah, I
arrival.
was looking for Ackroyd.
I'm
I haven't
Waverly
seen him.
Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Oh, nice. He's a big fan of ours. Why do you have a problem with me?
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Jealousy will not do you any good.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reid. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Or is that so?
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Your thoughts on Strickland's research?
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Is your rivalry blinding you?
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let
I mean, he seems like a prick, but also maybe like a decent doctor? Potentially?
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
It's a conservative point of view.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
That is a fair point. Well, I have proved myself as a practitioner.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Well, I mean, that is how research works, though, right?
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity.
I mean, there's a fine line,
These men
obviously.
and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reid.
Any bad memories of your military service?
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Yeah, I mean, he
Thank
seems
you
like
for
a
your
prick,
time.
but
We'll
like
talk
a...
later.
I mean, like a prick with convictions, honestly. Blood, remember, Citizen's Blood will provide you a massive XP boost. Look for Citizens of your Mesmerize level overload. Choose wisely. I honestly feel like Jonathan would be hesitant to embrace someone at this point.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
That's true. Hey.
I cannot enter.
Why did he mention that here? That was the other quest that we had, but why did he mention that at this point? Do we have... Oh no. Where can I... Oh, it is here. Let's
I
look
understand
around.
you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to
Some rats, apparently. Looks like rat. Am I I'm within that? There they are. So she was right about that. I mean, they may see her as a vampire, even when she may not be. Bro.
It's a leech!
Oh! Didn't like the fight.
Piece of shit!
Here we go. Have a little munchie. Ooh. So she was definitely right about the vampire hunters. Around. 25th October, God of Primm command post, 2 East End patrols. Object: vampire activity, hospital, survey, investigate. 3 days ago, one of the new recruits heard a rumor about the presence of a female vampire hiding in the Pembroke Hospital, London East End. All we have is her first name, Thelma. Your mission is to discreetly go there and observe any suspicious activity concerning said lead. Then report directly back to us and we will decide what action should be taken. Okay, interesting. Find the local command post. Okay, do I know where that is? I have a marker on the map. Let's see. Is it far away? That's not around the corner, so let's first talk to Swansea. We can take care of that once we get there. They want to talk to him, though. That is why I came out here.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Because we got
Such
some
a pleasure
money
to
now,
see you
and I wanted to see if I
Please show me what you have to sell.
can buy some ingredients and stuff.
It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
So first see if I can sell something. Apparently not really. Can't sell any weapons soon. Oops. Ah, no.
Good
That's the wrong
evening,
button.
Dr. Reid.
Can I skip that?
Please show me. Of course.
Okay. What does he have? Buy multiple. That's one that we need. Let's get like one of each. Just to have a basics, and then it's good to know that he has these basic ingredients if I need a specific cure for something. Let's go up and talk to Swansea. See what he has to say.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier.
That's a big old skull.
The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a living paradox.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
Well, no need to apologize.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her.
Okay.
Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Okay, I can do that. I look around in this office. Letter to Rakesh Chadana. Dear Dr. It's from him. Okay. Dear Dr. Swansea, I will be glad to manage the temporary morgue as soon as it's open. As I have already told you, I was a doctor during the war and I will be glad to serve my country again. I know it is not the same being a physician for the dead as it is for the living, but I believe it is important to welcome and take good care of our departed too. Rest assured, I will do my best to fully perform this new duty to the best of my abilities. Concerning the question of my qualification, I'm sorry I can't give you anything more valuable than my parole. I swear to you that my regiment made me a doctor during the war and that I saved many lives. If my word is not enough, you can contact the military administration to verify my experience and skills. They will confirm that even if I never followed any medical studies, the war taught me what a doctor really needs to know. He's not a doctor. But I guess that's good enough for someone who takes care of the dead, right? Warning letter. Dear Dr. Swansea, I must inform you of my deepest reservations concerning the Dr. Thoreau Strickland and Harvey Fiddick case. Mr. Fiddick has been hospitalized after a severe work injury. He may permanently lose the use of his arm if not treated adequately. Dr. Strickland claims that a surgical procedure may save the man's arm completely. I say it may also sever its function for good if complications arise. Our young colleague is an audacious and daring surgeon who might prove a great professional in a few years, but for now he lacks the skills to perform such a risky procedure. Need I remind you of the mistakes he made in the past? Since Dr. Strickland refused to listen to me, I strongly advise you to forbid him to perform such a hazardous experiment. Very respectfully, Dr. Waverly Ackroyd. I mean, that is a fair point by Ackroyd. I will give him that, and we know that Fiddick obviously is very much reliant of being able to use his arms. As a scholar and exegete of what is that word? Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments below. Of ancestral writings, I would never insist enough about the importance of taking legends and ancient folklores into account when searching for hints about hidden or lost secrets. A common mistake is to take what we know for an established truth and use it to discard any contradictory material. For example, we must consider the possibility of undiscovered species of vampires and the necessity to rethink what we see as the established truth about the various types of immortals based on what we know and what we gathered through time. For how many centuries did we consider that vampire was the vernacular term for what we had learned to call econ? Until the day 4 explorers of the Brotherhood found proof in Siberia that Volkots were a lupine type of vampire, we considered these creatures to be linked to the mythological werewolf. Now we know it is not true. What about the rest? What about the Rakshasa from my homeland? What about the Chinese Jiangxi or the Peucan of southern Chile? And without even leaving the beautiful Great Britain, what about the stories about bat-shaped women, sometimes seen flying around St. James Church in Louth? What about the creature only identified as a disaster in some obscure testimony which tried to destroy London in 1666 by spreading plague all around the city? What about the Nimrod, the mythical figure of the restless vampire hunter, sometimes described by ancestral British icons as a legendary huntsman who only feeds on his prey's blood and could go unnoticed amongst the mortals and immortals? I tell you, my brothers, we never can be too sure of what we could find, if only we could forget for a few minutes what we're supposed to already know. From Unveiling the Night by Usher Toltree, Primate of St. Paul. Interesting. That is some interesting information. Can we talk to Swansea?
Do you need something, Jonathan?
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
Okay. That explains your wanderings.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Don't you fear me?
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Okay, that's a reasonable take, I guess. Anything you know about my condition?
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
Will the sun destroy me?
The sun? The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Okay.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Okay. Anything else about the hospital?
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand?
Where do we stand today?
Oh, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
Okay, what about William Bishop?
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory. William Bishop, I believe. Was he a vampire?
He was a skal, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
Okay. Where do skals come from?
How do skals come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Huh. How is a skal different?
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a skal?
A skal is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
Okay. I think that's
We'll
it
see
for
each
now.
other again soon, Edgar.
Hey, we have a bunch of XP, so let's go and level up. Then we can talk to the benefactor. Just want to check if I can... Can't really craft anything here. Can't craft any serums either. Not much crafting going on. Spring screw grease. High resale value. I don't know. I don't know which ones are worth. Oh, I can actually leave here. Didn't know that. It's interesting. But let's level up. Quite a few points to spend. Now, which one do we choose though? Good question. I don't know. Use your blood absorption with bites. That's pretty good. Blood capacity is pretty good. Stamina would also be pretty... I think like increasing our base things for now makes sense. Let's increase our stamina. Could go even further, but let's go with our blood capacity. We go with this. Could go more health. Cartridge bag, big thirst. The bite. The thing with the bite is I'm obviously dependent on being able to stun my opponents. It's a little tricky. Shadow mist. That could be an option, right? Having an AoE. Let's get it. Costs 1,000, but I think it's still worth it. Let's confirm. Uh-oh. Major district events. Every night, the consequences of your actions may improve or degrade the district's health status. Can also be degraded due to diseases spreading among citizens. Major district events. The more lives you take, the unhealthier district becomes. If a district's health status drops below the critical threshold, it will plunge into chaos. It is for you to decide of a district's fate. Okay. Oh! Oh no. Okay, I guess that's where we end today's episode, with a blue screen of death. Great ending. But we will continue with Vampyr next time. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please give the video a like. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. If you want to go the extra mile and support the channel, you can check out the Patreon link down below. And maybe we can actually jump back into the game. And that would be very much appreciated. Also, you can check out the Discord link to chat with us on a daily basis. That is also very much appreciated. I will be back with more Vampyr very soon. I hope that the game saved itself from things. Otherwise, I will catch up with where we are and do exactly the same things as before to get to the point, and then we will continue there, talk to the benefactor, and do all the other good stuff. Until next time, have a great time. Bye-bye.